Good evening, beloved of Christ. Christ is risen. I'm so happy. I'm so full of thanksgiving right now because I found out just a few hours ago that we have been blessed to reopen our parish to public worship. It wasn't that long ago that it seemed like this wasn't going to happen and we didn't have an end game. Thanks be to God, our bishop has heard our concerns, and with prayer and consideration, he has changed his mind and has agreed to let us start this gradual reopening of our parish. And so I'm struck by this term that I used earlier, Thanksgiving. Usually when we Americans use this word, we just use it to refer to the holiday. And of course, that hokey story about the pilgrims and the natives sitting down and sharing a meal, and at least with hopefully some genuineness, a remembrance that those people who supposedly shared a meal came together in remembrance of God's goodness and with gratitude and offered a thanks. They gave thanks, hence, of course, Thanksgiving. A word that we use far more often, which means the same thing, is the word Eucharist, Evcharisto in Greek, literally giving thanks. I give thanks. Because when we offer the Eucharist, we come together to give praise to God, to offer to God those gifts that we make with our own hands, namely bread and wine, the fruits of man's labor. And giving that to God, God then gives back to us an even greater gift. The gift of his body and blood, but also the gift of fellowship, also the gift of public learning and teaching, praying together, coming together in community to worship God and to draw near to one another. All of these things are cause for thanksgiving. And as we now look to the near future, to a time when we can start to rejoin proper thanksgiving, Eucharist, as a body of Christ, a group of believers come together, today we give thanks. Christ is risen.